how to migrate to Australia as a teacher. So teachers are very in demand in Australia. It's an occupation which is on the medium to long-term list and most state and occupation lists. When I'm talking about teaching, there's 3 different teaching occupations identified, or 3 different main teaching occupations identified in Australia: secondary, primary, and early childhood. Okay, so secondary is 13 to 18, primary is 6 or 7 to 12, and early childhood is before that. And you'll be happy to know that all of these occupations have general skilled migration and employer-sponsored pathways. The first thing you would need to do is a skill assessment. So you will need to do a skill assessment by an assessing body to determine that your education and work experience aligns with the Australian standards. For secondary and primary school teacher, the skill assessor is AITSL, and for early childhood teaching, the skill assessor is ACECQA. And essentially for AITSL, for the secondary and primary, what you need to do, you provide your qualification and your transcript. So you need to have studied for at least 4 years in higher education, so university or bachelor, or master's, grad dip, etc. And at least one of those years needs to be specializing in secondary education or primary education. So for example, if you're in the UK and you did a 3-year Bachelor of Arts and then you did the 1-year PGCE in secondary school teaching, this may qualify. Or if you're from the Philippines and you just did a straight 4-year bachelor degree in education specializing in primary school, this may qualify as well. The other major thing required with this skill assessment, so you've got the qualification, including placement, and unless you're from an English-speaking country like the UK, Canada, Ireland, US, you need to have very high English scores. You would need to have academic IELTS, 8 in speaking and listening, and 7 in reading and writing. Fortunately, your work experience is not required for the skill assessment. It's all about your qualifications and your placement and your English, no work experience required. If you're an ECT or an early childhood teacher, your qualifications and skill assessment would be through a separate organisation called ACECQA. Essentially, the qualification requirements are the same. However, the English requirements are a lot lower. If you've submitted that and you passed, we can look at the different permanent visa options. If you submit the skill assessment and you fail because of the qualification, chat with us, maybe we can look at different study options in Australia to get your study and education up to the Australian standards. Once you have got your skill assessment, then you can look at the different visa options. So for general skilled migration, which is where you don't have an employer invite you, secondary school teachers and ECT can apply for the 189 skilled independent and the 190 and 491 state nominated. Primary school teacher can only apply for the 190 and 491, only the state nominated. Now, employer sponsorship is also an option. So this is where a school would basically sponsor you to teach there and can lead to permanent residency as well. Alternate to this as well, if you're looking to get sponsored from overseas, I would think your best chance is going to be in a really regional area where it's difficult to get teachers. So we've got a lot of extra information on general skilled migration and employer sponsorship, so check out those videos. And if you would like to discuss your situation in detail, feel free to book in for a consultation at Pathway to Oz.